friends out there in YouTube land. It is yours truly, Rockin' Dave, the real deal, North Fort Myers, south of West Florida. And I want to wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving. I hope your Thanksgiving weekend is going good so far. I know I didn't make any announcements or anything like that, but since I'm going to be doing a little editing here in the Boss GT1, I'm going to be doing a series of a new series on my channel called Guitar Effects, where I'm going to show you the effects that I'm using, both present and in the past, and how I edit them and what I use, and in situations like this, in upcoming videos, whether it be a live stream or a regular video with the zoom camera, I'll determine that later. But what I'll be doing is showing you the amps I'll be using in here, and the overdrives and things of that nature for the styles that I play, including some of the metal that I do, and like the getting back into some of the progressive power metal and stuff like that. Some of the sounds, it really does work great. Now, one thing I want to share with everyone out there, that this is a very inexpensive unit. Right now I have it running on it runs on 4 AA batteries, so that's why I have it running on 4 AA batteries. Right now it's a little bit difficult to see the screen, and I know other videos out there, people have been saying this is where if you're doing a video, the camera doesn't pick up on the screen too much. But if I were to take this outside when it's sunny, and which I might be doing in some of those videos, when the sun hits this, you don't see it lit up, but what you'll see is you'll see all your parameters, because in essence it's like a clear like a white background screen with black or dark gray lettering, so you will be able to see this. So that's a good thing right there. Let me go ahead and show you exactly what I got this on. I got to take this off here. I've got it running through the Yamaha THR10C for the classic amps. Also, I got that on batteries. I have this on flat response. So even though I'm in the input, I got my effects down and my delay down, and it kind of bypasses all this, so we're getting the sound of this. Now, I want to show you something. First of all, I want to give a special shout out to, there's a guitar channel that I followed that goes over all the details on this thing. And his channel is called Guitar and Tabs. Guitar, the letter N, and then the word tabs. He does a phenomenal job in explaining this thing, which is great. So if you're out there and you see this video, kudos to you. I really appreciate all that you have done in helping me with this. And so if you have any questions on this, you want to get anything in depth, he's very, very helpful on that. Right now I have this set where, I don't see, this is what I mean. Patch for kind of like a Queensryche type of sound. Now I want to show you something here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create or overwrite one of the user patches in here for more of a, like a Robin Trower sound. But, you can use external foot switches with this, and it does not have to necessarily be Boss. I do have a couple of the F5, I think it is, single foot switches. I got like 4 of them. I use that with the DR880 drum machine when I want to control things with a foot switch. And I also use it most recently with my older drum machine, which is the Boss DR670. So you can use that with this. You could use the FS6 and I believe the FS7. But I saw another video where a guy was using a Digitech FS3X, and it works. It does work with this. Now, how this is set up, when I turn off the control number 1 here, it'll shut off my overdrive. See, here's my overdrive. And I'm glad that you could see. I'm looking at the screen. I could see my parameters here. Here is FX1 compression, then overdrive, and then I think was that preamp, FX2 modulation, delay, reverb, in your memory internal. So when I turn this off, it shuts off my overdrive. Now here, how I have this set up, and I'll show you how you hook this up to the controllers. because you have access to control 2 and 3. What's really cool with this, I have this set to turn on and off my course. Let's see my modulation, if you could see that, FX3 or FX2, that's going to be my modulation. So this will shut that off. And I could turn it back on to shut off my course. I have this to shut off my delay. Turn it back on. What's really cool, that's this switch here. What's cool with this, I could shut off both delay and modulation. See, put that back on. There's FX modulation and delay. I could shut them off at the same time. How I have this set, when I go down, I have the pitch shifter, and I actually copied the exact same amp and effects overdrive that I'm using, and I just added the pitch shifter. And this will shut off my pitch shift, which is, again, mod FX2 modulating delay. And then this will switch off. Let me do that again. And then this will switch off my delay. And then this will switch off both of them. So, which is a really cool feature. But what we're going to do here, if I could put this back up here, guys. I'm very sorry about this. Nothing's easy for me, and that's okay. I'm going to go to a patch here. Where's that? Okay, sorry. What I'm going to do is go to a patch called 70s US Hard Rock. And definitely difference in volume compared to so what I'm going to do here is now I'm going to create a user patch that's going to simulate the Robin Trower sound, the Univibe. So I'm going to go here to hit my modulation effects. Now there, if I push down on this again, it's going to show me what effect I have. Now again, I'm going to have to do this, guys. So I'm going to, okay. If you could see this, it's set to chorus. So what I want to do is I want to change that. And how you could do this is over here, you have your easy edit. I think if I hit the select, okay, now that'll be different. There. If I hit the other switch called edit, this is what I get. Now, that's my echo, that's my vibes, and that's my tone. These three knobs over here are going to control that. So knob number 2 is going to change what I have here. Let's see. That's through, that's my chorus, deep chorus, what we got here, stereo chorus, deep flanger, light flange, slow tremolo, fast tremolo. We're going to get all the way to the Univibe. Vibrato. And it should be almost here. Aha. Univibe. And they got slow Univibe. Okay. So now, if I hit my exit, I should be able to have my Univibe effect. Now, I'm going to show you something here. Yep. It almost sounds like it's a fast Univibe. So, what we want to do here is go back, find that. I want to slow that down. Make sure I have a slow Univibe. Okay. Now, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to store that. And how you do that, you have to hit these two buttons simultaneously. which is going to be your edit, or your exit and your write. When you do that, it writes it. Now I should have my unified. Now, so I want to get in there and I want to slow that down even more. So what I'll do is go into my effects. So here's my compressor. Okay, so now what I'm going to do now. So this is what's really cool with this is I'm going to again have to do this with the phone. Now, you're probably wondering, Dave, why don't you invest in, I know they have some of these microphone or camera stands. Right now, we're still in our recovery mode and with our roof, so that's more priority than toys, So anyways, so there's my rate. And what I want to do is I want to slow that down a little bit. So again, remember when I said knobs number 1, 2, and 3? This one, knob number 1, will slow down my rate. And let's see what happens there. Let's see if I go at 55. Let's see. Let's see what happens. So, again, I just ask people to be patient. I'm not a videographer. What am I trying to do? I can even slow that down more. Okay. Okay, so if I'm happy with that, I'm going to write that again here. See, when you hit the two simultaneously, it activates it, and then you got to push it on the right button, and then it locks it in. Okay. Okay, so now what I want to do is, what's really cool with this unit is that you could rearrange your effects. And how you go about that is let's see, my memory is going to be here. Now, I'm going to show you something. This is really cool. Again, we're going to do this. We're going to get this where it's right on it, my friends. Okay. So, it's going to be effects number 2. So what you could do is, your knobs over here, I don't know if you could see this. You have select, move, and then type, okay? So we're going to, knob number 1 is going to control the select. So we move this here. And what we're going to do is we're going to select our effect. And it's going to be, should be effect number 2. Where are we at? Oh, maybe I went too far. Huh. Maybe I did go too far. Sorry, guys. Effects number 2. Okay. Well, it seems that effects number 2 is in front. All we're going to do is we're going to move that. Move that after, and let's see what happens. Okay, it's basically doing the same thing. So it looks like that is set. Okay, that's even better because I want to get as close to the sound that Hendrix and Robin Trower used. Because what you got to remember, the amps in the 70s, they did not have effects loop. So even though the Univibe might have been after the fuzz phase, it was still going in front of the amp. So it seemed to be a little bit easier to control. Okay, so if I'm satisfied with that, then what I'm going to do is hit my, and then now what's really cool here, guys, is I was going to try to select the amp. I don't think I have to really do that. Now if I hit this. Ah. Now here, in this situation, I might just leave that as is because I think I got both my overdrive and my delay off. Okay, not too bad. Not too bad at all. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to turn on this overhead light out here. And the light, it gets starting to get darker quicker earlier, of course. And there we go. Okay. So now what I might try to do is show you how I can work the controller to let's see, yeah. Okay, now you see, like I said, it turns off my overdrive. Matter of fact, let's see what we have in the overdrive here. Boss overdrive, okay. And let me hit my exit. Okay. Let's see for the amplifier. Might be a Marshall or Crunch type. That's cool. I'm gonna share with you guys. You know, just because it'll say Marshall or this or that, it's always good to experiment with what the sound that you want to hear. Don't go by the name of the patch or the amp sim it's supposed to be simulating, because you could always go in and mess with the EQ, because you might find a sound, you might say, well, geez, you know, the patch is this and the amp simulator says it's a Bogner, but I'm trying to look for more of a vintage Marshall plexi type with a tube screamer. But however, if I'm not sure I'm in the setting for the Bogner, I mess with EQ, I might start to like that sound a little better. So see, it really doesn't matter what it's called. It's what's in your head. So let me go ahead and Okay, so now what we're going to do here is, I think what we do is we go back into select. Yeah. And we're gonna move this to what's called assign. So I'm gonna show you this, guys. We are going to take this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna move our parameter to. You might think it's gonna be control, because that's control 1. We already have that set. Expression pedal 2, if you are another expression pedal. Control 2 and control 3. Yeah, those are the switches. But what we want to do, and you got expression, I guess that'd be for expression 2. You could have a separate expression pedal. But what we want to do is go into the assign. And I'm going to go into assign 1. Let's see what assign 1 is. Let's see if I can remember how to do this, guys. If not, I might have to pause this video and then make another video of this. I think what we do is we go into enter. Okay, there we go. Now, you see, we have it signed, it's on. The toggle switch, we want it to switch on and off. I believe if you take this and move it to momentary, what will happen is when you hit the foot switch and keep your foot on it, it'll change it. When you take your foot off the foot switch, then it goes back to its normal thing. Where the toggle, it's just like if you're turning on and off the switch. Where it says source, this is the source, this is what we want to do. Let's see what happens when I move to the CL2, which, there you go, the control. Okay, so my assign, what do we do here now? I believe, we're going to do the effects. We want the univibe, yep. We want the univibe to be in. And I think what happens is now, when I hit my right, let's see what happens. It's been a while since I did this. Okay, so there we go. Aha! There we go. There's it should be my univibe. We're going to find out, guys. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. Okay, turn off the delay. Okay, so we gotta do this again, and so let's see. Hit this memory. We'll go back to assign number 1. Okay. I'm still getting used to this myself. Okay. What we want is the effects. Yeah, that's what we want. And there we go. So now, it's still turning in on and off. That's weird. Okay, well, we're gonna have to really mess with this. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to mess with this because you see this is what I mean. I'll look at some videos and try to write things down because a lot of times I have to do everything on the fly. And if you're in that situation, this is what you'll run into. Okay. The pedal is great though. I really do like it. So let's do this, and let's see if I come back to that. Okay. So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna have to do this. Okay. I do like the control switch number 1 to be able to turn on and off the overdrive. Because a lot of times I'll do stuff like that. So maybe what I need to do is we're going to try this again, but we're going to take this and go to assign number 2 and find out what happens there. And if not, I'll just have to do a little research on this on my own, you know, just if I got to bust out the manual, that's okay. But it's good that people see this. So, and I could be doing something wrong again here, I don't know. Okay, we want control number, I'm going to do control number 3, which should be mother foot switch. And what we want to do is try to get this. Okay. And no. Okay. So no, it's still doing the same thing. That's okay. Well, I'll just do a little bit more research on it. But there is some cool things you can do with this. You know, again, any piece of gear that's like this, I don't care. Even if they got the new, was it Downer Arena number 3 or Arena 2000. It's all going to have its own learning curve. That's why I really like knobbed bass pedals. I really do, because when you're a live performer, you know, you really don't have time to dilly-dally, you know. And I really think what has happened with a lot of products, they had forgotten about the live performer. They'll say they haven't so much, but they're trying to cram so much into one setting or like into one switch or into one knob that they seem to forget that there is the world of live performers out there, and we still exist out there. And I think what will happen is eventually they'll come around. If they don't, then they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose out. Now, I'm not saying they'll go out of business or anything like that, but what will happen is they're gonna see a serious drop in purchases on their products from the performers, you know. And then there's gonna be like, okay, what just happened here? And they won't be able to put their finger on it yet because of social media and YouTube and all this other stuff being so popular. But when that starts to run dry, because like everything does, it'll run dry, then another shift comes back. It could be live performance very strong again. Then they're going to start to realize, oh, maybe we shouldn't have never forgotten about these people, because they, in essence, are the bread and butter. Because the reality is, these pedals, one of their selling point is they're sturdy. Now, why would they be sturdy, so sturdy, if you could be stomping on it, but if you only use it for YouTube videos or and you have it on a desktop? So that tells me that, yeah, in the back of their mind, there is still the world of the performer, but they forgot about the user friendly, and that right there is that's their mistake. Now, bringing up the subject of live performance, I have heard people say that, yeah, you know, this is a great entry level effect unit, and it is. And you know, I wouldn't use it for live, or it's kind of, you know, it is plastic. You know, you got the top parts metal. I want to say like maybe a thinner, not too thin of a piece of metal, but not real thick, like some of the ME series, like the ME80, 70, and the ME50 and that. But it is thick. But these switches are plastic. However, they are very sturdy. Your foot controller is plastic, but it's very, very thick. These knobs are plastic, but when I turn things, they're very strong. I mean, they're not loose. These little buttons, they're not loose. Anything on it, it's not cheaply made. And the sound, when you go directly into a PA, it sounds killer. So that is where I think they made this a great idea. Plus, it'll run on the batteries. And again, since I do a lot of the solo gigging, going right into the PA, it works fine for me. And yeah, a lot of the newer stuff with, I guess, the IRs and all this impulsive response and that, they're just making them better and better. Um, at the moment, I really don't need one. You know, this is working fine for me. The advantage of it running on the batteries is you might find yourself in situations where you are doing either a wedding or a corporate gig or some sort of a special event where there's no power, and they're going to put you in an area where you might not be around an outlet, or the outlet is going to be very far away, and they don't want to have an extension cord dragging across the lawn or across the floor for trip hazard reasons. This, by having this, we could run this on batteries. It's a godsend. It really, really makes a big difference. So that's something to consider. It works great with that. The foot switch does work with this. Again, when I call, see, this is what I did with this patch right here, especially the pitch. Have it where if I shut off foot switch number 1, let me see if I can do this. Let's see if I can do this, guys. It might not be a great. There we go. So there's my pitch. Pitch shift off. Delay off. Pitch shift down while delay. Delay and pitch shift down again. This one, I'll turn off delay and pitch shift at the same time. Again, delay and pitch shift back on. Here, my overdrive off. So if I'm on a so that patch and this patch I was able to get in where I have, as you can see, the course is off, delay is off, back on, now both of them off at the same time. So I was able to get into that function. Maybe some of the patches I'd have to completely delete them and then, you know, override them, which that's fine. You know, it's just, again, a learning curve. But you see, again, it's how you're going to use this, and to make that's going to be for your benefit. You know, again, you're not going to use every single patch in here, which is fine. It's like that with every single unit. You find the ones that you like, and then you work with that. Now, unless you're playing, maybe it's different if you're in a cover band or a tribute band. You're trying to recreate that. Then I could see this where you need all that. You know, all those patches to simulate all these songs from all these bands you're doing in that. But the whole cover tribute thing, and it's as fun as it is, and I will admit sometimes it can be very fun. I don't ever want to be 100% into that because I love writing my own music. I'm very creative, and I love coming up with my own stuff. I really do. If you're a creative person, you're always gonna resort to that. You know, you're never gonna want to suffocate that. So that's why, you know, there's different products. But again, that being said, with the different products, in my opinion, if I could sit down and talk with all these engineers, the first thing I would tell them, always make it user-friendly for the live performer at the gig right then and there, because we're not talking about minutes or seconds. We're talking about nanoseconds. You got to do things right on the fly. You know, never forget about us, because you know, we could buy gear somewhere else and from other companies, and we could find people that will come up with this and say, hey, you know what? And believe me, there's a lot of us people that talk about this from a live performer's point of view. And, you know, all we need to do is contact the right people that are not just performers, but they're also engineers. And all they got to do is take some of the stuff apart, and if they, you know, could get the chips and, you know, the little microchips that are inside of these, start developing their own, specifically for the performers out there. It's just a matter of a person looking at it from that point of view and saying, hey, let's not forget about these people, because these were and will always be our bread and butter, not just the bedroom rockers, but it's gonna be the people out there live. So, but yeah, I will be doing more videos on this, and I'll do a little bit more research before I shoot the next video, so I could um, show you exactly how I'm using this. I don't use this like other people do, and that's why I want to have this type of series of videos, again, called Guitar Effects, because it's going to dig deep into the situations I find myself in. You might find yourself in these type of situations as well, if you're a versatile musician. Whether you're doing, well, let's say you're in the situations where you're playing rock, metal, progressive rock, jazz fusion, blues, and there is a specific set of amps and overdrives that you like, that you're able to achieve the sounds in those genres, and then using the effects in different orders the way you want to use them. Not necessarily trying to recreate another what the album is saying, but your own creativity. So that being said, I'll be shooting more of those videos as well. Honestly, that's the one thing I like about the ME 80 and 70 and 50. It was all knobs. There was no mysteries. It was right there. The ME 80, I think there were some issues with the amp sims. It's really meant to go through the front of an amp, because when I was going through the PA through the QSC, I noticed I was getting crackling, and I knew exactly where that crackling was coming from. It was coming from the overdrive and the amps, the amp simulators, almost as if it's not really meant. And I had it set to go out for the headphones and all that. I did exactly what I was supposed to do, but when they developed that product, I think they were also developing the GT100 and GT1, and these are the ones that are specifically more to going directly into house system and PA system, studio monitors. So they did focus more attention on these units rather than that. And I understand this is what happens when companies are trying to put out so many different products at the same time. There's only 24 hours a day. I don't care the name of the company or the person. There's only 24 hours in a day. And if you run into where you are on a deadline, a time deadline, and you got to get the product finished, and if you got so many irons in the fire started at the same time, now it's almost like you got to pick and choose which ones to get the more attention. And I think that in this case, this is what happened. So they did focus more attention on this rather than the ME80. The ME80 does work great through the amps, though. I'll tell you that. There's a killer pedal. I just wish that the ease of function was in this and all these other pedals I see out on the market, whether it's the Helix, whether it's the Head Rush, whether it's where, okay, if you want to dig deeper, yes, you have that option. However, how can we develop something for the live performer that needs to get in and out to edit these things very quickly? Let's have things that will say enter, exit, on, off, in, out. Let's make it very, very simple, because it's, again, live performance. You don't have really time to redo it. It's live. It's right there. It's raw, and I think that needs to be taken in consideration. And hopefully we'll start seeing that more and more in the future, where these products, these manufacturers are going to say, whoa, you know what, we need to stick with this. And then you might start to see they might see their sales really soar, because now they're like, okay, we didn't shunt a specific group of people out. But anyway, it's a great unit. I'm very, very pleased with this thing. I'm like, it's pretty awesome. Now, if I want to the patch control volume, I could do that. Or what I could do to boost that up is in my amp. Let's get into the preamp. Here we go. Let's do this. My level is 45, so what I could do is I could bring this up. This is where this is really simple here. Okay, so now let's see. Well, I have consistency when I'm doing my live show. Yeah, there's pretty consistency right there. Okay, good. Now, there's another thing as how you name this. So I'm going to show you that again. We're going to do this. We're going to do this old school, my friends. We're going to keep everything old school real. So again, what we're going to do is, right? Nope, we don't want that. Exit. Here we go. Now, and now, well, let's see. Right? Okay. Now here, this is where we could edit the name. So I want to change that. Let's see. I think knob number 1. Yep. We're going to do this. Knob number 1 will change the lettering within that box, like you see as it's changing. Okay. I'm going to call this Robin Trower. Okay. Then knob number 2, you just move over there. There we go. I got the O right there. Or maybe that's a 0. Here, yeah, it's a 0. Let's do this. Element OP, okay. Move number 2. We'll move the cursor over. Now here, I could take this, we want this. We have it all uppercase. Okay, here, there's nothing there, so we gotta, yeah, there we go. Oh. There we go. And here, we keep moving this until we find a space. It'll be for the after the numbers, and then you know your little icons here. Yeah. There we go. Move that over. Nope, go back here. I've gone too far. I've gone too far, guys. Because we want uppercase. There we go. Now if I want Robin Trower rock, or I could keep a Robin Trower vibe, I could do that. or I could just, yeah. Let's do this, because I can have it all spaces. I don't know what it is. Come on. Okay. Well, it looks like right after the capital A, it's there. Now, I'm going to hit the right, and boom. Yep. So now I know what that is. That's one thing I do like about this. You could have the letter big, all uppercase, and when you do outdoor gigs, you'll be able to see that. So that's basically it. So again, I'll be doing a little bit more research, and be able to show you exactly how this works. But I know I had this thing going, and I showed you where I was able to turn off the chorus and delay, and then turn them off at the same time, and still had this as my overdrive. So, anyways, my friends, I hope this has been a little helpful, a little insightful. I don't mind showing when I come up against something that I like. Okay, now I have to do research on that, because this is all happening on real time. So you've seen it as it is. There's no post editing or anything like that. I try to keep things as real as possible, because that's how it really is. In life, there's no editing, and that's how it is. You prepare as much as you can, but in life, there's no editing. So, and on that being said, I want to just remind everybody that just stay positive as much as you can. We're going to do another video to give a shout out to a very special friend of ours who we lost. I didn't want to say anything until at least after Thanksgiving Day, but a good friend of ours, Kathy Beckworth, we lost her. I believe it was Tuesday night, and she was only 50 years old, and she passed from cancer. She was in the hospital. She was back up in Illinois. She was a very good friend of ours. She was such a supporter of live music. She would go out to see us as much as she could, and not just us, but she would support all the bands. She was definitely into metal and the rock, and we met her at a gig we did in Chicago on Irving Park Road called Nightcaps, and from then on we were friends. Her and her husband and Deb and I, we were all friends, and we'd get together when we could, and she was a huge Bret Michaels fan. And actually, when Bret Michaels, I think he had a reality show, he was on his tour bus. She was actually on his tour bus when they were filming. So she's on one of the episodes. And was it last night or Wednesday night, Bret Michaels gave a special shout out for her, because obviously he remembers her. And I thought that was really nice. So we really miss you, Kathy, and we just feel real sad that she passed just before Thanksgiving. So, but anyways, my friends, we don't want to end on a downer note, but I did want to give some sort of shout out. We'll probably do another video specifically for that. But yeah, this new series will be called Guitar Effects, and I'll show exactly what I can do with some of the stuff and what I have issues with, and that's fine. But I bypass the issues. I focus on the positives, and I use that to my advantage. And I encourage people to do the same. Use positive things to your advantages and walk away from negatives because it's out there. Trust me, it's out there. But on a nice positive note, I want everyone to continue to have a great and safe Thanksgiving weekend, and we'll keep you posted when we go live on another live stream. Um, until then, you stay strong, safe, and true, my friends. Rock on, and God bless. Take care.